Hello everyone, I'm Jessica Ruiz and I will be doing problem 7.2 number 21. So my problem is the integral of tan x secant cubed x dx. So how you want to tackle these problems is try to find a way to move around the tan and the secant or any other trigonometric function you have in order for you to be able to simplify it as much as you can. So the first thought that came to me was that secant and tangent x, that is when you do the derivative of secant x, that gives you secant tangent x. So my first thought was just to shift it around so that I can get the integral of secant squared x parentheses tan x secant x dx. So the reason I did this was because I know that this can maybe be canceled out if I do a u sub. U sub would be helpful here because I know the derivative of secant x is this, and it will cancel out. So that brings me to my next step. I'm going to do a u sub. So I want u to be that because I want the derivative to be that, and then when I substitute dx and make it with du, I will be able to cancel it out. So u will equal secant x, du will equal the derivative of secant x, and that will be secant x tan x. So that's what we have so far. So now all we have to do is plug it in, and oh, I forgot the dx here. So that will be dx, and now see, we have to find a way to plug in dx and here, but we can't plug it in with all of this, so we have to divide by secant x tan x, secant x tan x. So this cancels out. So now we can plug in dx right here, and dx equals du over secant x. So as you can see, that makes us cancel out this part. So if I shift this down a little bit, we have the integral of secant squared x tan x secant x, and now we plug in the du part, so that gives us du, because that equals dx, over this part, so secant x tan x. So now this part cancels out. So now all that we have is the integral of secant squared x du. Now we also have to plug in the u from the very top, this part, into our new equation. So that gives us the integral of u squared, because this is squared, du. So as you can see, this is much easier to solve. So we know that to find the antiderivative for this, we have to add 1 and then divide by that number. So then now we have u cubed over 3 plus c. Now we're not done yet because we know that we can't leave it in terms of u. So all the way back up here where we plugged in u equals secant x, that will go down here, and we will plug in back u equals secant x. So since u equals secant x, it will be secant x cubed, we can't forget the cubed, 1/3 because of 1/3 plus c, and that will be our answer.